After CNN attacked dog Jim Acosta's flagrant foul in the hallowed halls of the People's House, CNN and Acosta filed a lawsuit naming Chief of Staff John Kelly, President Trump, Tex Alice, Director of the U.S. Secret Service, Bill Shine, Deputy White House Chief of Staff overseeing communications, and Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders for violating Acosta's rights.
A lawsuit has been filed against the president and others in the Trump administration. Brian Selter joins us now. Brian, walk us through this.
This is a historic moment for press freedom in the United States. A lawsuit by CNN and Jim Acosta against President Trump and several other top aides.
Acosta and CNN claim the wrongful revocation of these credentials violates CNN and Acosta's First Amendment rights of freedom of the press and their Fifth Amendment rights to due process. Regardless that years ago Acosta's look at me activist style abandoned the furthest boundaries of the White House press corps code of conduct that has been the mainstay for decades, thus creating a new precedent and a gaggle of copycats. Are these people journalists or are they left-wing protesters?
CNN isn't being denied their constitutional right. They've got 5 or 6 other reporters that have hard passes. So it's not a question of CNN being able to report it. And it's not a right to be able to go into the White House. It's a privilege.
I think Jim Acosta is a very unprofessional man. I think he does this with everybody. He gets paid to do that. You know, he gets paid to burst in. He's a very unprofessional guy. Whether it was me or Ronald Reagan or anybody else, he would have done the same thing. When you're in the White House, this is a very sacred place to me. This is a very special place. You have to treat the White House with respect. You have to treat the presidency with respect.
Tough questions, challenging questions are the job of White House reporters. But when he starts giving his opinion and using that podium as the place to do it, it's wrong. And that's why the White House did this. And I support that. I cannot defend Jim Acosta. When he says to the President of the United States in the middle of a news conference, it's not an invasion. That's his opinion. And if he wants to be an editorial writer, more power to him. If he wants to be a columnist or have a nighttime TV show to give his opinion, more power to him. But that is not the job of White House reporters.
No. Hey. Yeah, listen, you're in my house. It's not, you know what? It's not respectful when you get invited to somebody. You're not gonna get a good response from me by interrupting me like this. No, shame on you.
Where was the uproar for press freedom after Obama's United States Department of Justice monitored former Fox reporter James Rosen's activities by tracking his visits to the State Department through phone traces, timing of calls, and his personal emails? The Justice Department affidavit named Rosen as a criminal co-conspirator in a bid to create a totalitarian chilling effect on the conservative press. If anyone should have sued the president and his cabinet, it should have been James Rosen.
It's selectivity, and I don't think they have any intention of pursuing any criminal activity against Rosen or anybody else. It's just a matter of trying to intimidate those who would embarrass them.
Remember that the prior administration monitored 20 AP reporters, and Fox's own James Rosen. Nobody filed a suit on behalf of James Rosen. If we want to talk about ethics and the protocols of the White House, see, CNN, 93% of their coverage, according to Shorenstein, is biased, and Trump had no problem with that. He has no problem when a CNN host, Kathy Griffin, holds a decapitated facsimile of his head. They have no problem when Anderson Cooper uses obscenity, or Reza Aslan says he's a piece of crap, or people that are guests and panelists say that he's a Russian asset or agent, or they invoke the Holocaust for comparison, or people say that he's radicalized more people than ISIS, remember that? And they have these stories they keep running, you know, that Scaramucci is involved with a Russian hedge fund, false, that Trump knew in advance of the Russian meeting that Donald Trump Jr. had access to the WikiLeaks. I remember when CNN was just explaining to us, as a matter of fact, that James Comey, within a matter of hours, was going to go into a congressional testimony and swear that Donald Trump had mischaracterized their private meeting about whether he was subject to process.
Wait, this doesn't make sense, though, because
it was all false.
CNN has argued that others should lose their voice, should be silenced because they're, quote, conspiracy theorists. But you're listing conspiracy theories that they have promulgated on their air.
And now, Trump-appointed Judge Timothy J. Kelly acknowledged that the White House credentialing process has a First Amendment component and that the government must give Acosta due process before revoking his press pass. Kelly then criticized the Justice Department's defense of how it revoked Acosta's pass and said that the White House's account of Acosta placing hands on a White House intern was of questionable accuracy. CNN, Judge Kelly, and Acosta are creating a precedent for propagandized journalism to be accepted in the hallowed halls of the White House by the American people. John Bowne reporting.